Hello again, folks. Welcome to Graco Live. My name again is Tom Malik. I am a tech information specialist here at Graco. Today I have got a visitor with us. He is our technical trainer here at Graco, Darrick. Darrick.
Hi guys. Hi everybody.
Gotcha.
I'm Darrick. I've been with Graco now 15 years, pretty much my whole life, HPCF. Now I've been doing the training thing for about 7 to 8 years. It's been a lot of fun. I'm sure I see a lot of you guys out in the field already, so thank you for having me.
No, perfect. Thanks for joining us today. So today, folks, we are going to be talking a little bit about some hose heat issues and Graco's brand new resistance mode for Reactor 2 units. I'm sure some of you, or a good number of you over the years, you had an error pop up on your screen that says T6DH, which means no hose heat sensor. What causes that, Darrick?
Well, when you have no hose sensor, typically it could be the sensor itself, if something goes bad with that, or the cable itself, right? These hoses are pretty well beat up, they're dragged in and out, and from time to time they can, all of a sudden become disconnected and give you that error that, hey, I don't have a sensor hooked up.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we've got a way that we can kind of get you around that today. It's our new resistance control mode software. If those of you are not familiar with it, or if you don't have it on your system already pre-installed, there is a way that we're giving it away free. Just go out to any of your distributors and give them this following part number: 17E as in Echo 206. That is a token software, upgrade token that will allow you to get the new current software for your machine to be able to spray that. Darrick, you're going to want to walk people through how they would, once they get the token, what they do with it?
Yeah, so the first thing you want to do, you get the token. If you have critical information on your reactor, download your data first. It's really critical to do that. Otherwise, once you download the new software, it deletes the memory in your reactor. So first thing, download your data from the machine, and then you can install the software. And how we want to do that, you're going to turn the machine off. You're going to open up the panel, and you're going to take off the ADM from the machine, and there's a little window in the back that you unscrew, and there's a slot for the that token.
I'll just show people here real quick here while I've got you, just so you've never seen it. This is just a display here to show you, but it's on the back side. It is right here. See this little tiny screw? You take that off. That's the window that most people don't know you can actually take off and get to where that token goes to, just for your information. So all right.
So once you put the token in, then you're going to power it back on, and at the bottom of the ADM, you're going to see some red flashing LEDs.
Okay.
Give it a moment, because what that's doing is starting to grab that information, and then the display in the front's going to turn on, and it's going to have a progression bar like most people are used to, downloading software on your computer. It gets to 100%, kind of does a reboot, and then once your main screen comes on, then you can shut it off, take out the token, and then put everything back together properly and turn it back on, and away you go.
Perfect. That sounds pretty easy. It just takes a little bit of time, but nothing more than needing maybe a screwdriver and an Allen wrench, and away you go.
That's all you really need, yeah.
All right, so now we're going to talk about, once you got your software installed, we're going to show you how to set up resistance mode for the first time on your system. So give me just a brief second here. I'm going to drag this over here, and we are going to do this. So 1 second. And we will do, not that one.
You grabbed the wrong one.
I grabbed the wrong one. My apologies, folks. Hold on 1 second. All right, got it. So there we are. This is what we're going to be looking at. This is just kind of some pictures of your ADM. So the first thing that you're going to see, you're going to want to turn on your machine. Yep. You're going to hit the key lock button in the bottom left corner to get up into the advanced and the setup menu. For those of you that are password protected, contact your boss or your owner. If you are not the owner of the machine and you don't know it, then get that password so you can get into it. It's kind of the tricky thing. And if for whatever reason you're locked out, call us at Tech. We'll help you get through it. So all right, I'm in the system menu. What do I do now, Darrick?
Well, so we're in the system menu. You'll use your down arrow key until you get to page number 3, which you see there. And then you're going to notice hose control mode. In the past, we didn't have this, right? It was either FTS or you went to another spot to go into manual mode. But now what we're able to do is we enter into the window. On the kind of the top left part there, you see the window. You'll hit that soft key off to the left-hand side of it, and that opens up the window to what you see now where the FTS is highlighted. And then you'll hit enter. It brings the drop-down menu down, and then you select resistance. Just tap it down twice. It goes in resistance mode, and then you'll hit enter, and that enables that resistance mode.
Got it. Now I see this other little button here that pops up here. It says calibrate. What is that for?
So what that's for is we need to calibrate that hose to the system so we know how much length we have on the system,
Okay.
right? And that helps us determine temperature of that hose.
Okay, that makes sense. So perfect. So walk me through hose calibration here a little bit. What do I have to do? Is there anything special? I mean, if I've got a bad hose sensor, and I need to calibrate the system, what should I do? What should I start with?
So what you want to start with is first unhook the FTS from the system.
Okay.
We want to make sure that if it is kind of, in some cases, the FTS may be flickering on off, like we talked about with a little bit about the hose connections. Disconnect that. It's best to do the calibration when both the machine, basically your A and B main heaters,
Yep.
and your hose are at the same ambient conditions.
Okay, so if I'm like in the middle of a job and my FTS goes down, do I have to wait till it gets cold, or can I just do it right away? Or
It's best to at least let it cool down a little bit and allow it to at least kind of normalize.
Okay.
You can do it. It's not going to be as accurate.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, if you can, so typically, in the morning, both sides, everything's kind of at that same ambient condition. It's best to do the calibration then.
All right, got it. So I'm going to hit the button that says continue. I'm going to start my calibration. You may see a window pop up here that gives you kind of a countdown or a timer while the system is calibrating. But what happens if my system doesn't calibrate? What could be causing that? What would prevent me from running that?
Well, a lot of times what will happen then is that there's a connection within the hose that's not being made, whether it's an actual connection point or internally that wire wrap that's around that hose is broken. And so if we're trying to figure out that value for the hose and there's no way of receiving a signal all the way through, you're going to get an error and it's not going to calibrate.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, assuming that everything does calibrate up correctly here, we're going to kind of show you the next screen here that might look at it. So if I do this, got it. You're going to get this screen up here again. That's not the right one. Let's do one more page down. Got it. No, that's not it. Where did it go? Well, we'll just show you here on this screen. It says manual here. Just ignore that. We're going to say that that's going to say that you are in resistance mode.
Yep.
Now you see this number right here where it says hose calibration factor. What exactly is a hose calibration factor?
So it's the calibration factor that helps the machine determine how much hose we have on here.
Okay.
Right? And so it's for example, the value is roughly 0.3. It's roughly 330 per 50 feet on a 3/8" hose. So if you have 5 sections, you take 330 times 5, and that's roughly going to be that hose calibration factor.
Yeah, so that would be like 650, and depending on what of the lengths hose you have. Now, some guys out there might have half-inch hose. Some might use quarter-inch hose. The whip hose is also going to add to that value. Yep. So just for a ballpark number, you think about if you're using straight 3/8, about 330 per 50-foot section. Maybe a standard 10-foot whip is going to add you another like 50 or so to that value. Yep. But if that seems way out of line, that might be indicative to tell you you've got an issue with something in your hose bundle. If that's the case, contact us at Tech. We'll walk you through. We'll talk and figure out exactly and help you test out what might be causing that. So just to kind of give you that heads up. But if the calibration factor looks good, everything's ready to go. You're gonna hit your buttons. You're gonna back out, go to your home screen, and now look at this. Well, what's this? I thought it was supposed to be reading my temperature, Darrick. I see these dashes here. Why is it showing the dashes?
Well, what happens is when we're in resistance mode, the only way we can figure out the temperature of the hose is when we start actually running some power through it. And so once we start running some power through it, we can find that value again, that hose factor that we saw, and then it can actually read it. Until we do that, remember, we're not using a sensor anymore. We're using the hose itself.
Okay,
so that resistance factor.
Oh, so that's absolutely normal. So you mean as soon as I hit the on button for my hose zone, and after I've got my targets and everything set, it's going to start reading normally? And I'll be
correct. Yeah, there's going to be a slight delay, right? A couple second delay there until we actually get some power going down there and we start reading it, and then your temperature is going to pop up there.
Well, that sounds pretty simple. So yeah, I mean that's definitely going to help a lot of people out in the bind if they've got the new software, but their hose sensor itself goes down. It sounds like they've got a way to be able to just get back on the job site and not use the dreaded manual mode where it's like cooking on a hot stove and you just kind of leave it and you don't know if it's too hot or too cold or whatever it is. So.
Exactly. And especially too when you have when when you have the hose in a conditioned environment and it goes outside and then back into the house, it's really going to help, kind of maintain that temperature all the way through.
Yeah, especially for you guys like out, this time of year as we're getting into the, late fall, early winter, if this guy's trying to get the last job in for the year, your truck with the diesel generator might be running and it might be nice and warm. The outside ground might be like 10 degrees and inside the house that you're spraying might be warm. So, that's, I definitely could see that where
especially like in that situation that the FTS part of the bundle is sitting in a snowbank.
Oh yeah,
you know what happens there, right?
Yeah, if your FTS is sitting in the snowbank, well, your FTS is going to read colder than what your foam actually is, and it's just a bear trying to figure out what the temp is.
And now if that same situation happens, you don't have the FTS plugged in, but now it's the whole hose is warming up, not overcooking though, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it makes it a lot easier for you guys. One thing I wanted to add too, when you do that hose calibration factor and everything looks good, it's not a bad idea to kind of write that down. So then that way down the road, if you need to do another hose calibration and just kind of see, that way you have that kind of a reference point.
That's a good point.
And that's a lot of things when you're doing, any type of things in Reactor. You find something that works, write it down so you have that reference point down the road.
Absolutely, that makes plenty of sense. So, well, yeah, that looks like it's fairly simple to do. Absolutely. Yet, it's pretty simple. I think. If you were new to this and you never touched anything like that, as long as everything was hooked up correctly, I could see you doing this in a couple of minutes, realistically. So.
It gives you that great option besides manual hose heat, because most people don't understand it totally. For a lot of you guys out there, you've been in the industry for many years, you understand manual hose mode, and hey, when I'm done spraying, gotta shut off. But now with the resistance mode, it kind of does that automatically for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good. Well, thank you again for coming with us today, Darrick. That's all the time that we've got for today. Once again, if you have any questions or comments or concerns, leave them in the comment section below. If you want to reach out to talk to me directly for anything, if you've got questions on how to set this up, or if you've got issues when you're setting up the resistance mode, you can call us direct at 866-361-5959, option 2 for our tech support line, or you can email me direct at aftdtechsupport@graco.com. Just put attention Tom or attention Graco Live in the subject line. That way it'll come straight to me and I'll be able to help you directly. So thank you again for watching and joining us on Graco Live. I'm Tom Malik. This is Darrick Reed.
We'll see you out in the field.
We'll see you next time.